a vacation of sorts. You did some very stupendous things down in Mexico.
Yep, got married.
Got married.
Pretty stupendous.
Yeah, great. You're looking good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, 10.
So we just finished our discussion of blood pressure, and in that discussion there came up the subject of GI health.
Yes.
And you were going to, I think, bring some broader points about GI health and how fundamental they are, but then I really wanted you to sort of laser beam down into 2 or 3 or 4 things that we can do on a daily basis that are easy to do to just make a difference in our health. Yeah.
So yeah, I do want to talk about, I think GI health is probably the most fundamental topic that is most neglected in our medical and health culture. We pay a lot of attention to cardiovascular health. We pay a little bit of attention to blood sugar and nervous system health. We pay very little attention to gut health beyond regularity and preventing acid reflux. So there's a few things about the gut that I think most people don't know. One, it is by far the largest internal organ system. Somewhere between 26 and 30 feet of gut inside of us. And in all that tissue, you house an incredible amount of important stuff. There are more neurotransmitters in your gut than in your brain.
Whoa.
There are more nerves in your gut than in your spine. And about 80% of your immune system is in your gut. So much of the functional tissue that really, drives all the important processes of life is housed in the gut. And that tissue doesn't just control gut function, it communicates with the rest of the body. So in a very, very real way, the gut sort of is like a second brain. People talk about having gut feelings, gut emotions. It's actually very, very real. There's an incredible amount of information processing that happens in the gut, and critically, an incredible amount of immunological activity. And so, fundamentally, just from that perspective, I think it makes an intuitive amount of sense that with that much tissue and that much important chemistry and your whole immune system there, that if your gut is out of balance and unhealthy, it's going to have far-reaching ripple effects that spread through your entire system. But another interesting perspective on gut health is that, our bodies are, I like to say we're a constant reconstruction project. That's what being a living human being means. You're a constant reconstruction project. And what I mean by that is that every piece of us is constantly being digested internally and recreated. Digested and recreated. So if you look at a human being, you look at us, we're sitting here, we look static. We look like, there's not much changing here. You don't see cells turning over. You don't see, our skin changing. But in the course of 3 months, almost every piece of you gets broken down and rebuilt. You have a new gut every 6 days. You have new skin every 3 months. Your liver, inside of 3 months, pretty much every cell is literally digested internally and then rebuilt. Your bones get internally digested and rebuilt every 3 months. It's incredible.
So while one cell is being consumed, another cell is being constructed.
It's a constant ongoing process. And all of that constant reconstruction, it's all taking place based on the food that you eat, based on nutrition. So you are constantly remaking you out of the stuff that you're eating. But here's the critical thing. Not only do you have to eat quality ingredients to make a quality you, but those ingredients have to be processed and then absorbed and distributed within your body in a highly efficient and functional manner. And if your gut is unhealthy, you cannot take food, even healthy food, and turn it into healthy nutrients that your body can use to constantly reassemble you. And so the integrity of every organ system in the body suffers when the health of the gut suffers.
Okay, so let me just stop you there. So first of all, it's what goes in.
Absolutely critical.
That's the first, putting good stuff in.
Yeah.
The second is that the breakdown of that nutrition happens and gets processed so that those nutrients can be absorbed in other places. Now, and that seems to be a roadblock. A lot of people have poor digestion.
It's a huge roadblock.
Yeah.
And when you do have poor digestion, it's because your gut is inflamed, usually. And if the gut's inflamed, one, you're not turning food into nutrients that you can use to make healthy organs and make a healthy body. Your immune system isn't functioning properly because inflammation is immunological activity. And gut inflammation means your immune system is causing a bunch of chaos down here instead of fighting viruses and bacteria and fungi through the rest of your body. And if your gut is inflamed, it's even affecting how your nervous system and your mood function because there's so much chemistry and there's so much neural tissue there. And that neurochemistry and that neural tissue isn't isolated from the rest of your body. It's affecting your wake-sleep rhythm. It's affecting your mood. It's affecting your energy levels. It's affecting your ability to focus. It's affecting literally everything. So the gut is so huge and it's so critical that the integrity of the gut in many ways is the foundation for the integrity of the rest of your body. In one way, you can almost think of your gut as the soil out of which the rest of your body grows. You can't grow a healthy plant without healthy soil, right? because that plant needs to take all of its nutrition out of that soil. Well, your body is constantly taking all of its nutrition out of the gut, and you can't grow a healthy body. And you're always growing a new body every minute. You can't grow a healthy new body without a healthy gut. So gut health, it's fundamental. It's where I always start my private counseling. Always, I start with gut health.
In 2 or 3 minutes, can you summarize what are the things to look out for, or what are the things to do?
Sure.
Because we all have various levels of health.
Absolutely.
And what can we do to improve?
Sure. Well, there are a few common ways that gut health breaks down. The first way is insufficient gastric juices. So when you don't have enough pancreatic enzymes and you don't have enough stomach acid, the health of the gut breaks down. That chemistry keeps bad stuff out of your gut. It kills off bacteria, it kills off fungi, and it helps digest your food. And one of the simplest things in the world to do is add digestive enzymes in. I talk about it a lot. They're really, really helpful. They're really, really beneficial. Put them in at the end of meals. Of course, the next factor where gut health breaks down is poor food choices. Poor food choices are absolutely huge. And we talk a lot about eliminating processed foods and moving more in the direction of eating healthy whole foods. As a general rule, the foods that are most beneficial to your gut are, of course, vegetables. And the more fibrous vegetables tend to have greater benefits. So celery, carrots, broccoli, cauliflower. And you want to eat them in a variety of ways. Eat them in salads, eat them steamed, eat them lightly stir-fried, eat them dipped in hummus or other veggie dippers. And then beans and whole grains are phenomenal for gut health. And these are foods that many people can really benefit by proactively working into their diet more. You know, a lot of people are concerned about the cost of eating healthy. Nothing cheaper than organic dried beans and dried grains. And finding just a few recipes and learning to incorporate those foods into your life, they're fantastic because the fiber and actually even the carbohydrates in those foods really helps cleanse out the gut and move things through the gut. Which kind of brings me to the next topic, is the gut has to be clean. And if your gut isn't clean, it can't do any of the jobs that it's supposed to do properly. Now, we've already done one mailer on detox, but there are, aside from detox, there's lots of ways to keep your gut fundamentally clean. The digestive enzymes will help, and another great way is probiotics. And probiotics, one of the 5 supplements I recommend most, they're the healthy bacteria that are meant to be lining the inside of your gut. And when they're not present, digestion can't function properly, and the gut can't really clean itself out properly. And this is kind of a fascinating other little tidbit. I don't want to get into too much detail, but just to illustrate how important probiotics are, there are actually genes inside of our immune cells, our white blood cells, that need healthy bacteria in our guts to turn them on. Our actual immunological genome is dependent on the presence of healthy bacteria in our gut. Our evolution has been so tightly linked to the presence of those bacteria that literally our immune system depends on them. And we consume so many antibiotics, and we're constantly drinking chlorine, and we're consuming fluorine, we're consuming all sorts of stuff that kills off the healthy bacteria, that most of us really need a healthy probiotic in our lives.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. And is there anything, just to wrap it up, that how do people get in touch with you if they need some one-on-one counseling, or they want to join a class maybe where you're teaching about this in not in 5 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can always email info@vaughngray.com, info@vaughngray.com, and in fact you can visit vaughngray.com. And in the nutrition classes I teach a number of different courses on nutrition. I frequently devote an entire 60-minute class just to gut health. It's such a fundamental topic. So I just tried to sort of touch the highlights here today. But I hope the take-home message of this is that gut health is fundamental to whole body health. And there are some really simple steps you can take to improve gut health. And when you make it a priority and you begin to notice the difference it makes in your quality of health, in your life, and your energy levels, it gets easier. The hardest thing is taking the first step.